Good evening and welcome to Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation. This is our last conversation for the year. We have been with you every Monday night for 40 Monday nights. And I want to thank everybody who has been with us on this platform. It is not easy to give up your time and your energy to learn about literacy, because we believe literacy is legacy, but not everybody else does, but we do. And for the group of ladies and gentlemen who joined us every week, I certainly appreciate your time. I cannot give you enough money. I cannot tell you how important it was to me to make sure that the authors that we bring to you are celebrated. And so thank you very much. We are, at this moment, we have a special guest. Oh, my name is Donna Gray Banks. I forgot to introduce myself. And our author this evening is Len Richelle, and she is the author of Twisted Lover. Please welcome her to Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation. Thank you, Len, for being here.
Hi, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
So thank you very much for being here. So Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation is brought to you by Islands Diamonds LLC, Ladero Press, Milton McCulloch, a Dante production, and the Fresh Book Festival, which will be held in the beautiful city of Daytona Beach, 23, 24, 25 February in 2023. We hope to see you all there. If you have any questions for Len, please leave them in the chat room and we will answer those questions at the end of the conversation. And good evening, Len. Oh, this is being recorded. And good evening, Len. Please take a moment and introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay, my name is Len Richelle, author of Twisted Lover, Her Dangerous Obsession. This is my first published book. It's what I would call dangerous or dark romance. I enjoy writing, music, traveling, adventure, and I'm also a blogger. I'm retired from law enforcement and I currently live in Florida.
Oh, I didn't know you were a blogger. Where can we read your
my blog is called
50
Fab and Traveling.
Oh, 50 Fab and Traveling. Okay, thank you. And so I'm going to ask our first question. Good evening, Mama Tommy. Thank you for joining us. So before we get into your novel, let's discuss how you co-wrote a book in the second grade and other short stories you have written. Did you ever have any of those published?
I co-wrote my first book with one of my best friends in the second grade. It was called Black and White, dealing with black and white issues. It never got published. In fact, we lost it. Someone came to our elementary school. She wanted to take it. We thought we were under the impression that it was going to get published, and we never saw the book again, unfortunately. I've written several short stories. One did get published on shortfictionbreak.com. The name of the story was Sienna. Back in 2017, and I do plan to have a collection of short stories, of course, dark and dangerous romance, and hopefully I'll put a collection of that together and have that published soon.
Good, good, good. I've never heard of this short stories. What is it? .com?
Short Fiction Break.
Oh, okay, everybody. If you got a short story, fiction, make sure you take it there and see if they'll pick you up. Thank you for that. So let's unpack your publishing experience. How was that for you with Platinum Pen Publishing?
Well, I am Platinum Pen Publishing.
Oh, you are a publisher. Okay.
Yes. Okay. I did self-publishing. I've always wanted to have my own publishing company for years now. So it was quite a learning experience, learning the ins and outs. I did extensive research. It still is a learning experience as I go along. But I did have a great editor, Carla Dean from You Can Mark My Words. She helped me through the process. And like I said, she was very supportive and she taught me a lot as well.
Who is your press?
Well, right now I've been going through Amazon.
Oh, really? Amazon? And how is that? How is that experience?
So far it's fine for me. You know, I'm not looking for anything too extravagant. I was just trying to get my publishing out there. So I haven't looked at anything else so far.
So let's talk about the cover. How many
Okay.
did you look at before you decided to the one that you decided on?
I got very lucky. My first cover I designed myself, but then I wasn't very secure about it. So I went to a company called Book Design Stars. Um, and I just gave him my vision. I told him what the story was about. And the only significant thing that I wanted on the cover was something to do with the red dress. If you read the story, this
Yes,
red dress was very important to me,
yes.
but I didn't want a red dress. I
Okay.
said, I want the red dress without the red dress,
Yeah,
something to
yeah.
symbolize the red dress. And that's what he gave me. He hit it
Wow.
right on the nose.
He did. This is great,
Yeah,
right?
I was
And
very
it
proud of that.
was a one-shot deal.
He gave me about 5 examples, but that was the best one I thought.
Usually we can go through, that's like torture
Yeah,
getting
I was
the cover done. So kudos to you,
very
because most of the
fortunate.
time people are really just struggling with the
Yeah.
cover. So when you decide to write your second book, what will you do differently in your publishing experience?
I will definitely work harder on the marketing.
Mm,
That was something that I slacked on. In fact, I didn't do much marketing. I think that had to do with my lack of confidence with the book. I just didn't know if it was good enough. So I
really?
just wanted to put it out. Just, I just wanted to put it out there. So,
Well, let me say that it's good enough, first of all. It's a very good read. It's a 2-day, 2.5-day read for me, but we're all
mhm,
readers. Maybe
mhm.
somebody else will take maybe 3 days, but it is a phenomenal book. So
Thank you.
if you are hesitating putting it out there, um, I would not hesitate any longer. Here's
Thank
the
you.
problem. The problem is you have to say who you are,
Right.
right? And so I mean, I don't think that's a problem, but some people get a little angsty when people want to talk about what they've written. And so your skin has to get a little thicker. When you say that, ladies, a little thicker,
Right.
because everybody's got something to say. But from a reader, it was a very good book, very well written. The type was not tiny. Praise the Lord. So you can read it. Uh, Yeah, I think if you're looking to do anything in 2023, you really ought to push this. It is a phenomenal read from beginning to end. If you
Thank
live in
you.
the state of Florida, it's a beach read. Uh,
Mhm.
and just take it to the beach with you and enjoy it. So
Thank
you
you.
had an intensive career in the Army and law enforcement. How long did it take you to write Twisted Lover? And how long has the story been in your head?
All right, this was special. Now, Twisted Lover was not meant to be Twisted Lover. And I don't know if you saw the beginning of
Mhm,
the book.
mhm,
I wrote this during a dark time. It was
mhm,
not, it was the idea in my head was something else.
mhm.
And I just kind of went off on a tangent because I wrote this during the time when I was going through chemotherapy.
Mm,
So as I started writing this character, I just started coming up with different ideas. And when I reread it, I didn't like who she was.
mm.
She wasn't coming out to be the person that I originally thought I or planned her to be. But I had gone too far. So I said, well, I'll just have to write a different story. And I just went along with it. And every day, I just went along with it. And this was during the time I had a lot of downtime because I was sick. So I wrote every day, all day.
Mm,
And I finished this book, the first draft of it, in 2 months.
mm.
And that was just my outlet. This was just something just to take my mind off of things. And I just did these twists and turns and whatever I could think of. And there was no plan to it. And that's how this book came to be. So this was different from any other book I would write because usually I would plan it out and come to a solution or a conclusion before I'd even started it. But this was way different.
So there's not going to be a book two,
A book two?
The Twisted Lover.
I've gotten several requests now.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Several, several, but
Yeah, I mean, for your mistake, this is a good mistake. I don't know that you should throw it away. I'm
I
just
want
saying.
more people to read this one first.
Well, I tell all my authors, if you want to be an author in the industry, you got to
Mhm.
have 2 books out there.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
just the way it is, right?
Okay.
So everybody thinks the first one is a fluke. Oh, we don't know who she is, right?
Hmm.
The second one puts the seal of approval
Okay.
on you as an author and a person who has decided to take the time and be dedicated to the craft, right?
Okay.
So I don't know. Book 2 looks like it could
Yeah.
be something else, but it would be nice if it was a book 2 to twist it.
Well, and then I can go in so many directions with her. So
What?
that's another thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sell them as a combo, right? That's it. You sell
Yeah.
them as a combo.
Hmm.
At Christmas time, you sell it as a, yeah, 2 for 1 or whatever.
Right.
But really, in the industry, one book does not make you what they call a celebrated author. You got to
Right.
do 2,
Okay.
and go forward. So let's talk about the characters. And then
Okay.
you're telling me about how you develop them. So did you write it in scenes? Did you write it in characters? Or did you just start from the beginning to the end? I mean, I know, but letting everybody else know. Did you start from the beginning to the end or the end to the beginning?
This one in particular now, I actually started in the middle because after I did the first draft, I decided to write a whole half of the book. How can I explain it? Um, I added more to the beginning because it needed more context. So I don't, without giving the book away, there was a scene where she starts to go on a date. I had to add more background to the date leading up to the date, let's just say. So I
Yes.
had to give kind of her background, her whole background. Um, so it was like half of the book I put in the beginning, if you can understand that. Do you
I said, was
understand?
there a cliffhanger in Twisted Lover, Mama Tony? You have to read the book to find that
Yeah.
out. But let me just say that a book 2 is something that she could do without a problem. Yeah. So tell us about the male character. Is that somebody you know, or is that a guy who has different qualities of 10 million people that you know?
Probably several people I know. Yeah, it's no, someone joked and said I'm Adrian, and I'm not. Trust me. No, it's no one I know, actually. Some
Really?
of the
Okay.
characters are people that I know, or sort of, but not exactly. But the male is no one I know.
So these people are not going to read the book and say, oh, that's me. Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay, good. Because that can be
No,
a problem.
no,
People get real touchy. Do you
no,
writing about me in your book? No,
no.
that wasn't you. Not at all. So,
Mm-mm.
yeah, this is a very suspenseful novel. Did any of the situations come from your career as in law enforcement or in the army?
Actually, there were a couple of chapters, but I did edit them out. Like from my career.
You edited them out? You did?
Yeah, and the reason that I did was because I thought it would take away from the book. And
Mm.
however, I am saving those scenarios for another book. They just didn't fit right. I got they were all juicy and, yeah, detailed, but they just didn't fit. So they'll be in another book though.
When you developed the other characters, I know you said you really didn't have a plan because this kind of came out different than you wanted to.
Mhm.
How did you, even though you were in a situation where you were healing, how did you get those characters to be as developed as they were. I mean, you had to work hard on that. If you were healing and the characters were, talk about how you did that. Did you, yeah, talk about how you did that.
Actually, now this book took me, let's see, about 5 years. And the reason it did that was because I became a better writer years later. So I had to learn that. So maybe the first draft of it, they weren't as developed as they were years later, which is another reason why it did take so long, because, and I did take writing classes years later. I did have to develop them a little better and improve on them, and, you know, give them better vocabulary or direction, or make them a little more colorful. So, you know, after reading the book, after putting it down for, you know, a couple of months or several months, I looked at it and, you know, it needs work. So that's how that happened, actually.
Let's talk about let's go back to publishing.
Yes.
Now, deciding to be your own publisher is not an easy task, right? You know that it takes a lot. Why did you think it would be more advantageous for you to go your own route as opposed to going to an established publisher?
I didn't want somebody telling me what to do with my book, what characters to change. I just wanted control over it. I didn't want to wait to get an agent. I go through that whole literary agent process and all of that. I knew the timeline that it took. And I just didn't want to deal with that. It wasn't necessarily about the money to get like the advance and all of that.
Right.
This was my work. I didn't want somebody telling me what I needed to change. I mean, the editor, she changed enough, but it was for the better. I mean, she still changes my wording around, and sometimes we disagree with things, but you know, I understand where she's coming from, but I just didn't want somebody changing my work like that.
Well, a good editor will do things like say, for me, Donna, you know, that show was not out in that time period. You can't use that, you know, that particular show in this book because this was in the 70s and the 80s, and that show was not on TV. Or and I said it before, that I had people going to the refrigerator for bottled water. Well, guess what? You didn't have bottled water except for Perrier. Perrier, yeah. And those of us with no money didn't have that kind of water in the refrigerator, right? So, you know, so a good editor will pick up on those types of things. And I appreciate that, really, because you don't want one of your readers to say, girl, didn't you know? You know, so even though they change words and structure, they also pick up on things like if you're, you know, something the person might be wearing, or which is good. I think an editor is worth all the money that we pay them, actually.
Right.
So what else would you like to tell us about the book?
It's a page turner.
It
is an easy read, just like you say, it would take 2 or 3 days. And that's what I wanted, because those are the kinds of books that I like. Something that's quick and easy and entertaining. Let's see.
Mama Tony said she just downloaded it.
Oh, okay. Good. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Nice New Year's Day read. Mama Tony, she reads faster than I do, so that probably won't take her a day.
Okay.
So.
One thing that's special about it is most of the locations take place where I grew up, in close or near my hometown. So if you were local, you would recognize a lot of the places. So that was the fun part. Or if you ever visit, you'll recognize some of the places. So it was kind of close to home.
And you had to be careful with that too, because I think I had a building on Constitution and Pennsylvania, and they were like, that's not where that is.
Oh,
You know,
this
so
is,
I'm just saying people get that detailed in what you're writing. So
yeah, this is, these are the places. So,
yeah, you have to make sure.
yeah.
Where's that hometown?
Um, well, the story actually takes place, parts of it they take place in Scarsdale and White Plains and New Rochelle, New York.
In New York. I don't know anything
Yes.
about this. So you could write whatever you wanted to. And I would believe it. So, oh, Queens. Tam's from Queens. You're from Queens, Tam? Yeah, I didn't know that. So are you open to opportunities to do more speaking, Zoom or YouTube about the book? Because
Absolutely.
okay, okay. And so how will people get in touch with you? Because we have other people on the platform that do exactly what I do. And I'm sure they want to get in touch with you.
Sure. I'm at lenrichellebooks.com. I mean, lenrichellebooks@gmail.com.
You have a website?
It's Len Richelle Books. I mean, oh, sorry, I'm getting
That's
all
okay.
confused. Authorlenrichelle.com.
Do you have a contact page on that website?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay. So they can get in contact with you there. So if
Yeah.
it's not going to be Twisted Lover #2, what's it going to be?
Let's see. I haven't named them yet. My book, my short story, Sienna, I was trying to make that, I'm deciding, I just pulled out the short story, but I was trying to make that into a book. I also have another one that is a prison related story, and I haven't quite named that yet. But like I said, people are hounding me about Twisted Lover. It's going to be Twisted Lover : something else, like Her Ultimate Revenge or something like that, maybe.
Right. Well, you
But
don't want to
that's
give it
when,
away. Call it something different.
yeah,
Ultimate
but that's
Revenge.
that's when I decide what the
Yeah.
storyline is going to be.
Yeah. No,
Mhm,
I just think you have enough meat in this one to
mhm.
take it to the next. I mean, you really could get a trilogy out of this.
Okay.
I mean, if you really wanted to, I mean, some of the best authors have books about the same character and 10 different books, right?
Wow. Yeah, I see them. I do.
You know, so she could do a whole lot of havoc in
I
five
know.
in 5 other books, right? So if there's nothing else, we ask each of our guests to give us a pearl of wisdom. And so I'll take that from you now.
Okay. Well, there's something that I always tell myself when I'm jumping into a new project or traveling or trying something. Um, I always remind myself, be scared and do it anyway.
Ah,
And whenever you're trying to take the first step, don't let fear interfere with what you're trying to do.
oh, nice. Well, this is Len Richelle and Mama Tony, Tam, Ruth, and Free. They will all be at the Fresh Book Festival. So you'll get a chance to meet them in person. Make sure you get as much knowledge from that woman, Ruth Baskerville, as you can. She's award-winning, trophy-winning, around your neck winning author.
Okay.
And she has a lot of knowledge. Free's book is about politics on a different kind of level. She is really, really good. And Mama Tony is a ferocious reader. She will read your book and review it
Okay.
and talk to you about it and how, you know, how it's done. She's a retired librarian for how many years, Mama Tony?
Seven. I've been retired 7 years now.
So how many years were you in the industry?
Oh, was I in this? I was in the school system 32. My last 12 years were in the library.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, and she is at most book festivals and she will join us at the Fresh Book Festival. And Tam is a marketing consultant. She does businesses from the beginning to the end. She is a sponsor of the Fresh Book Festival, and I appreciate you very, very much. If you're starting a new business, give Tam a call. And for the other two ladies, or I think it's a lady, two ladies, thank you for being here this evening. And we always end the Fresh Book Festival. I got it on my brain. Zoom in on a fresh conversation with when the lights go out and the cell phone towers go down. All you have left is a flashlight and a good book. So thank you all for 40 sessions of Zoom in on a fresh conversation. And we'll see everybody in 2023. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Len, for being here. Thank you, ladies. Good night.
All right. Good night.